nwtkid Games and Such Radio coming back at you for another round of video game music. Why video game music? Well, maybe it doesn't get spotlighted enough. Maybe it's also because YouTube doesn't really like the idea of radio. So playing actual radio songs, no one does it on YouTube. That's why no one's a radio DJ. But I like the idea so much, I thought I would try it again here this week. And let's just play some music for you. I hope you really enjoy it. I got some really great picks that I spent a good portion of my day just looking through. And yeah, now I want to play them for you. Let's check it out here on nwtkid Games and Such Radio. This first one is from the Neo Geo. It's an SNK game. Ooh, I never played one of those yet. So, on the channel. If you ever get a chance to play the Neo Geo or an SNK game, really just listen to the soundtrack for 1 sec, because they're on a different level when it comes to video game music. Check it out here. This is Exceed the Limit, Rick Strowd. The song's called Rick Strowd. nwtkid Games and Such Radio, a good portion of SNK video games. SNK was a video game maker, and then they also made the Neo Geo, which they put all their video games on. And they mostly made arcade cabinets, but they also made home consoles. But the home console was basically just their arcade games. Back in the 80s and 90s, arcade games were just way better than home games. Like the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo were super great. The Super Nintendo was super close to arcade games, but they weren't the same. So when you ported a game from the arcade to the Super Nintendo, it did not look the same. It was just a less quality game. It was still a good game, but it was not the same as an arcade game. That was not the case when it came to SNK video games. When you played the arcade game and then you bought a Neo Geo and then played the home game, it was the exact same game because they would just take the cartridge from the arcades and then literally just put it inside the home console Neo Geo. It was a great idea for the 90s, and it even had memory cards, meaning that you can take your saved games and bring it to the arcade and play your saved games at the arcade. I never found out about this until I was in about my 20s, so I was just shocked that this never took over the video game industry, the SNK. Instead, when all this was happening, I was playing Yoshi's Cookies and Super Nintendo. But there's nothing wrong with Super Nintendo because it also brought a lot of great music in the 90s. This particular game that I'm going to be playing next for you, I never played personally, but I know of the soundtrack because I've listened to this song before, because I actually do like video game music. On my free time, I just like to hear what they could make with the limitations of 16 tracks. Because when it comes to 8-bit, 16-bit, 8-bit has 8 tracks, 16 has 16 tracks. That's just how it works. It's a limitation. I'm talking way too much. Here is Waterworld on Super Nintendo. CKHR, no, that's not right. nwtkid Games and Such Radio, thanks for joining me once again. That there was Waterworld, that was the map theme. Thanks you for joining me. It's kind of late, it's the middle of the night, but that's not stopping me from just playing some kick-ass music here on the internet. Thank you for joining me. I'm trying my hardest to stay away from copyright strikes, which happens all the time for me if you play like copyrighted music. And when you listen to the radio, that's all copyrighted music. So all the music I'm playing is mostly not copyrighted. Last week I did get hit with one copyright claim by Nintendo. So Nintendo songs do have copyrights on them. And this next song is a Nintendo song, but it's from their Game Boy. This song is actually pretty famous in the Nintendo world. It's called Walk on a Rainbow. They feature it in multiple games. The first time it's ever shown is in Tetris Attack, and I really like Tetris Attack. It's one of my favorite kinds of puzzle games. They also made Tetris Attack Pokemon Puzzle League, which I've also played music already from that last week. I really, really do like Tetris Attack, and this song Walk on the Rainbow is one of my favorites. But I don't know if I can play you the Super Nintendo one, which I really enjoy. But I think the Game Boy version is okay to play. I'm not sure if Nintendo even knows they can. Anyways, I'm pretty sure copyright strikes will not happen, or claims will not happen, if I play the Game Boy version of this song. And I've never listened to the Game Boy version before until earlier today, and I'm pretty impressed with it because it's a downgraded version of the song I really enjoy, but it's all there, and it's on Game Boy. I'm pretty impressed with it. Let's check it out here. If you like the song so much, I highly recommend checking it out on Super Nintendo or even on later consoles. That there was a pretty long song, and it was on the Game Boy, which makes it even more impressive to me. It is kind of a shitty sounding song, but I mean, it's on the Game Boy. So I'm always impressed that they were able to just make that song on the Game Boy. I always impressed. I only found out earlier today that that rendition of that song existed on the Game Boy. But after last week's getting copyrighted claimed by Nintendo, I'm a little bit scared of playing actual Nintendo made songs, which that song is made by Nintendo. So I have to put in the description here that some of the rights of this video go to Nintendo. But that's okay. I'm okay with that. I just want to play some music and do the radio voice stuff. Thanks again for joining me. It's nwtkid Games and Such Radio coming back at you with another song here. And that song was on the Game Boy, and it was a low quality song of a song I really enjoy. This is kind of the opposite. This is on the Sega CD, and this is a really high quality Sega Genesis song. This is Micky Mania, originally released on the Sega Genesis or Sega Mega Drive if you're from Europe. And then they made the Sega CD a couple years later, re released this game, Micky Mania, with a way better polished soundtrack for a CD. Let's check it out here. Yes, this is a way better quality Sega Genesis song, and I really, really like that they did that. NWT Games and Such Radio. That song was a Disney song, which was Micky Mania Garden Theme from the Sega CD. There's a little bit of a hiss on that. When I was just re-listening to that with you guys, and I don't know why. Oh well. Let's continue on with some more music here on the radio or NWT Kid YouTube radio. I used to do a lot of radio in my local community, and recently it just shut down, and I was so sad about that, and it made me really do think about all the good times I had sitting in front of a microphone and just talking and talking about music. And even though I'm talking about video games, it still has some really interesting music history that I'm happy to share with you. I don't have any history tidbits about this song here. Ball Jacks. I don't even really know about this song. I was sampling music earlier today, and this was one of the better ones I thought that sounded cool from the 16-bit era. This is from the Super Famicom, Ball Jacks, Ending Theme 1. There we had Ending Theme 1 from the video game Ball Jacks on the Super Famicom, which is the Japanese Super Nintendo. And yeah, they call their Nintendos the Famicom over there, which I always found interesting, for at least a side note interesting, a cliff note of anything. Okay, so the next song here I want to play for you. Oh wait, let's talk about Ball Jacks for a sec. That song there, while listening to it again just now, I thought that sounded like a Sega Genesis song, if anything. I know it's not a Sega Genesis song, but it just sounds like one. The processor for the Sega Genesis for the sound clips, it is an inferior sound clip processing chip than the Super Nintendo. So the music design is radically different when it comes to Super Nintendo games and Sega Genesis games, and you can really know the difference once you know that fact. So for some reason that sounded more like a Sega Genesis song just because of its upbeat tempo, because most Sega Genesis songs for some reason were upbeat tempos. Anyways, that's just me nitpicking maybe. I thought I'd point that out, though, that I thought that sounded like a Sega Genesis song, even though it's not. Let's get back to some more music here. This next song actually has lyrics. It's from one of my favorite new games that I feel like I have to pick up now because I've been listening to the soundtrack so much. I want to feature like the whole soundtrack, but let's just play one song tonight from the game. Transistor, this song is called In Circles, here on NWT Kid Games and Such Radio.
In
I said that that was a newer game. It's new to me. It's like 6 years old, but I found it recently, so I find it new. It's not a new game. At least not like it's 6 years old. Transistor there with In Circles here on nwtkid Games and Such Radio. Let's just jump back into some more music here. This is another SNK soundtrack video game from the console, the Neo Geo, but the Neo Geo was just SNK video games, so I just consider it an SNK game. And then yeah, it was on the Neo Geo. Let's check it out here. This is King of Fighters 98. The King of Fighters series was a super awesome fighting game series. SNK was super good at making fighting game series. And this is like one of my favorite songs. Let's check it out. When it comes to video game music, it's just a different breed of music because not every single video game puts the same effort and love into video game music. And yes, it is a particular genre that I feel like I have to say video game music every time I say video games and music. And I find that the SNK games put a lot of love into their video game music by putting really great music into their video games. If that makes any sense at all. It's pretty late into the night. I woke up middle of the night and thought, you know what? Let's just start doing some recordings here of my next episode of this series in radio. Okay, well, let's play some music here. This next song is Pilotwings 64. And I'm starting to have issues with Nintendo songs because I know Nintendo likes to keep a tight grip on all of their pieces of work. And for some reason, some of their games are heavily copyrighted and some are not. Pilotwings has a great soundtrack. It doesn't seem like any of these songs are copyrighted. So I'm not going to get copyrighted claim for playing Pilotwings. Super Mario songs definitely are copyrighted, so you're not going to hear any Super Mario themed songs from me anytime soon. But this Nintendo-made game, yeah, I'm okay with it. They're okay with me showing it apparently as well. Let's play it for you. This is Pilotwings 64 Hang Glider. And that song is called Hang Glider from the video game Pilotwings 64. I think I'm going to call that a night now because I'm starting to get sleepy again. I may have to go pass out again, but I really did just want to play some music, and there's no time schedule of me when I have to like make these. So yeah, I thought, you know what, let's just make it middle of the night. Okay, well, I'm gonna go to bed. I had to do trick-or-treating and all that stuff earlier today, and then my roommates went to like a party. I had sleep paralysis. That's what woke me up, and then I decided to just start doing this. Isn't that weird? I literally had sleep paralysis. I woke up, I couldn't move, and then I was just like, let's do some radio. I guess it's just because I was alone, and I feel less lonely when I do microphone stuff or video stuff. So thanks for hanging out with me because it made me feel less lonely, and that's helpful. And so yeah, playing some great music and all that good stuff. I'm almost tearing up right now from saying all that sentimental stuff just now about sleep paralysis and then being lonely. Okay, well, thanks again for joining me. This is the Final Zone video game after the war. This is the last song I'm going to play for you. Dog bless. I'll see you next week for this, maybe. I don't know if I'll make this a recurring thing. Maybe I will. But I will see you tomorrow for sure. Bye for now.